The whole world had ended. Only one girl and two boys were left in this new world. Understanding the situation, the girl started draining both the boys. All three were having fun, but soon a dog enters their life. This dog also wanted the love of the girl, due to which he does such things, which no one can even imagine. To know about the adventures of the dog, do watch the video till the end. There was a fight in the whole world, and in this fight, countries carry out nuclear blasts. No one wins in these blasts, but the entire world definitely gets destroyed. In this ruined world, only 3 people were left alive, and all 3 were lying unconscious in some desolate place. Soon, the girl's body was the first to be found. There is a movement in the house whose name was Mira. Soon Mira also regains consciousness. But as soon as she regains consciousness, she screams loudly. She was scared to see this new place. No one could be seen far and wide here. All she remembered was that she had gone to a party, but she did not remember anything about how she reached here. Soon she controlled herself, and started looking at this new place. Meanwhile, her eyes fall on Vince, who was a short distance away. He was lying, unconscious, and as soon as she went near him, he also regained consciousness. Vince was also surprised to see this new place, but when his eyes fell on Mira, he became very happy. Mira was his real younger sister. Both brothers. The sisters were at the party, but neither of them knew how they reached here. Both the brothers and sisters were alive, so both of them were celebrating. Soon, both of them looked at the third unconscious man whose name was Mason. Soon they saw Mason. He also regained consciousness, and he too was surprised to see this new place, and soon he controlled himself, and started celebrating the joy of being alive. Seeing this new place, all 3 of them understood that the whole world has ended, and in the whole world, all 3 of them. After some time, all 3 started walking, so that they could find a place to stay. All 3 were definitely alive, but they had no place to stay. Hunger and thirst were troubling all 3. After walking for a long time, they reached near the sea. When they reached the sea, all 3 become happy because they could satisfy their hunger by eating fish. All 3 first dive into the sea, and then rest on the shore. After this, as soon as they start going back, they see many crabs on the shore. Mason was happy to see so many crabs, because he likes crabs to eat. Mira and Vince had never eaten crabs, so they were scared of seeing the crabs. Before Mira could get away from the shore, a crab bites her leg. Mason quickly hits that crab and then starts eating it. Mira sat aside and started looking at her leg, while Mason was continuously eating. Seeing Mira suffering from pain, Mason comes to her. He quickly tears her dress and eats it. He ties it on her leg, after which Mira's pain subsides. Meanwhile, Mason's eyes fall on her body. Seeing Mira's fair body, he gets hot. On the other hand, Vince, troubled by hunger, also starts eating crabs because he has no way to do so. Within no time, Mason's actions got Mira so hot that he started banging her in his cave with ease. After some time, the 3 friends started walking again to find a place to stay. After walking for a while, they found a house. It is seen after which they come quickly into the house. Well, there was neither drinking water, nor any food item in this house. There was no human being in the whole house, but a dog was definitely watching them secretly, like all 3 of them. When they come out of the house, their eyes fall on the same dog which was hiding in the house and watching them. The dog barks a lot after seeing them. All 3 understood that he wants to show them something, so all 3 start following him. After walking for a long time, all 3 reached a green place. All 3 were happy to see this place because there were many things to eat and drink here. There were many fruits to eat at this place, and there was also plenty of water to drink. There was enough water for human life here. Everything was there, so all 3 decided to stay here. After some time, it became night. All 3 had lit a fire, and were sitting near it, and eating fruits. The dog was also at the same place, and he had just killed a rabbit. After putting the rabbit down, it started barking, and all 3 get scared after hearing his voice. All 3 felt that there is some danger. That is why the dog is barking. Mason shows courage, and moves ahead, and when his eyes fall on the rabbit, he becomes very happy. He also tells the others that Doggy has brought a rabbit for us. All 3 were happy to see Doggy's feet. In fact, Doggy also wanted to eat cooked meat. That is why he had killed the rabbit and brought it. Soon, Mason got the meat cooked, after which all 3 got together to eat the cooked meat. They start eating, the dog also asks for meat, and Mira gives it meat. Mira starts falling in love with the dog, so she names him Gary. After eating the meat, Mason starts banging in Mira's cave. Gary also sits near them. Every Vince was watching the action. Vince did not like their actions, so he became sad and went aside. Soon, Mason takes out the water, and goes to sleep, while Mira starts washing her hands and face. When she does not see Vince, she gets worried and starts looking for him. Soon, she goes to Vince, and seeing him upset, she asks him the reason for his problem, on which Vince tells her that I am feeling lonely. After listening to him, Mira understood that Vince wants love. She wanted to see Vince happy. Hence she gets him horny, after which Vince starts banging his cave. Gary was watching both of their actions, and he did not like their actions. The next day, both the boys were working while Mira was playing with Gary. Both the boys were in the woods. They were cutting so that they could build a small house. Mira started hanging out with Gary. Meanwhile, Mira sees some fruits and starts eating them, while Gary goes after a rabbit. He wanted to eat meat again, and soon after some time, all three were eating meat. Gary was also with them, and they also gave him meat to eat. All three were happy to come here. There was no dearth of food and drink here, and on top of that, Gary also used to make arrangements for meat. Now the story starts after a few days. The clothes of both the boys were torn and they had no clothes to wear. Mira was also in the same condition. She used to roam around with Gary the whole day, and Gary also liked her company. Whenever he felt like it, he would start banging in Mira's cave. All three had become wild while living here. Both the boys would hunt like wild animals, and would kill and eat any animal. Similarly, one night Mira was cooking fish, and in the meantime Vince brings him a dead deer. Mira loved the deer meat. Mason was also happy to see the deer. Vince had hunted this deer very hard. Mason throws away the bird that Gary had hunted and whose meat Gary liked. Soon all three of them started cooking the deer and eating it. Gary asks for the meat from them, but both the boys scold him and send him away. After eating the meat, Mira went inside. When Vince also starts to leave, Mason tells him to go. Mason stops him. He wanted to have fun with Mira first. He even got ready to fight Vince to blow up Mira's cave. Knowing his intentions, Vince gives him his favorite knife. Mason is happy after getting the knife, and he takes Vince inside. Vince comes in and starts banging Mira's cave while Mason makes fun of Gary and sends him away. The next morning, Mira was bathing in the river, and Gary was getting excited watching her from a distance. After bathing, Me comes into the house, and he does not see the two boys. Both the boys had gone hunting. Seeing Mira alone, Gary started barking. Seeing his action, Mira gets scared. Soon, Gary throws her down, and then starts banging in her cave. At night, when both of them. When the boys return, they find Mira and Gary in the house. Gary barks at both of them, while Mira starts smiling. Seeing her smile, both the boys understand what Gary did to Mira. Mason gets angry, and attacks Gary. But he missed his target, after which Gary pounces on him, and in no time he injures Mason a lot, after which both the boys run away in fear. After a while, Vince comes back and sets the house on fire. He is also very angry at Mira. He was angry, that is why he did this act. Mira and Gary were in the house, but somehow they both come out, and at that very moment, Vince runs away from there. Mira did not see him running away, so her suspicion goes to Mason. Gary is Vince's friend. He was following, but midway, Mason pounces on Gary. He wanted to take revenge on Gary at any cost because Gary had blasted in Mira's cave. Meanwhile, Vince also comes and catches Gary, after which both of them meet Gary. They break Gary's jaw and he dies at that very moment. While chasing Gary, Mira also reached him, and came to know that both the boys together killed Gary. Seeing the brutality of both of them, she gets so scared that out of fear she starts running away. Vince tries to catch her, but he doesn't succeed. Next morning, Mason catches Mira. He was about to break out of her cave when Vince comes and stops him. Vince had decided that only he will get Mira's love, while Mason was asserting his rights over Mira. Both the boys started fighting for Mira, and in the fight, Vince kills Mason. At the end of the story, only Vince and Mira were left alive, and both of them started living their life together. That's the end of this story. Watch for